What's up, everybody? This is Jimmy with Trading Decoded. It is July 30th, 2025, and it's an FOMC day. Therefore, today, I wasn't even 100% sure I was going to take any trades today, and therefore, I was patient, yes, for 2 days in a row, which for me is unheard of. However, I've lost enough money in the past trading FOMC days to know that if I'm going to do it, I better be extra careful and maybe be a little bit less aggressive. And that was my plan going into this morning. With that said, we're going to cover the charts. It's going to be a short video because, well, my internet cut out shortly after 10:19, I think it was. Nope, sorry. Right after 11:21. But with that said, let's go ahead and buy my book because there's good stuff there. It looks just like this. You can find the link for it for Amazon down below in all of the descriptions of any of my videos. And join my Discord community. Oh, and like and subscribe to the channel, please. I'd appreciate it. Got a long way to go to hit 100,000 subscribers. So help a brother out, please. I make these videos to try and help you. These are not for me. And if you're getting any useful information that's helping you become a better trader from these videos, that's the least you can do for me. I'd appreciate it. With that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the charts. I made it abundantly clear this morning that I was not going to trade any call or put scenario right out of the gate. But I do have people that trade NQ and Qs quite a bit. And they asked if I would put the call put scenario on the chart. So I said I would, but understand that I'm not going to take them. Okay. Now I say this because for whatever reason, there are people out there, quite a few actually, that will only take a trade if I'm going to take a trade. I don't want that for you guys. You need to be able to think on your own because there's going to be a day where you don't want to pay to be in a community or you don't want to be dependent on anybody else. You'll have to know how to do this shit on your own. And that's very, very important to me. That's what I try and teach you in here. This is not about copy trading. Okay, it's just not. It doesn't work. You'll come to find that out if you spend enough times in other trading rooms. Okay, I'm trying to teach you how to stand on your own 2 feet. And if that's something you're interested in, then our community is perfect for you. With that said, we had a call line at 568.24. If we get through that line, we're not looking for a big move, hopefully up to pre-market high on the Qs, which was the first blue line here. If anything, the orange line, simply because that seems to be where we were struggling to move higher in pre-market most recently. That's all. So quick move up, quick move down. The put scenario was if we can get below 567.71, we were hoping to at least make it down to 567.43. Still only about a 30-cent move. It produced a little bit more than that, but for a lot of us, futures traders, options traders, that is enough to make enough money to be happy for the day, depending on your position size. And that's what we focus on. We're not looking to trade all day long, guys. We want to get in, make an 8-hour day pay in a couple of minutes and get out. I don't know about you, but that seems like the dream job to me. If I can cut an 8-hour workday down to 10 minutes or 5 minutes, but make the same money, I don't know. Just seems like a better option for life. With that said, both of those worked out on the Qs chart. Not so great on SPY. So, I didn't mark them because I didn't trade them myself and I wasn't going to. The charts were kind of booty leading into the open, especially SPY. You had some moments where you could trade to the upside or the downside, but nothing felt good enough to take the risk on, in my opinion. It's an FOMC day. Contracts were a little bit pricey. Volume was low. Just wasn't, it wasn't, an entertaining morning, to say the least. However, all the way back here at 10:06, one of my members, Henry, love you, brother. If you're out there, I hope you took this. I believe you did. I asked you when you came back to the mic or when you came back to the computer. He was asking me, Jimmy, we broke the downtrend here on Qs. Would you take calls if we get above 568 or 56? Which one? 568.24 right here. And I said, I wouldn't take them there, but if we can get above 568.40, then I would consider calls. And I would assume we're going to run up to 568.95 was the exact words. And as you could see, we started to move up there. We never got through that 568.40 level. We touched it, rejected it, and ADD was printing red at that time anyway. So it's not something you want to be aggressive on regardless. We pulled back. We found support where this crazy support existed on both Qs and SPY, by the way. And we started to move back up. Now, this one we got in. Why? Well, there's several reasons, and this is what we like to call an A+ setup. Number one, we just came off higher lows on Qs and SPY. Number two, ADD is printing green candles now. Therefore, because of the higher low, with momentum seemingly in our favor at this time, we're expecting this resistance to break. If we get that break, we're hoping to go up to the next resistance, which is exactly what happened. And up until this point was the cleanest trade on the entire chart. And it's the first one of the day that I would have actually taken myself. I didn't take it. I didn't tell anybody I was taking it, but I did say if I were going to take one, it would be need to break this level to get to this one, but I'm not going to take it. And it's because at this point, I wasn't convinced I was going to take any trades today. Then we chopped a little bit more sideways here. But we got to exactly where we wanted to get to. Qs kept crawling up, but SPY started to crawl down. And, you know, opposites in this case, which we've been seeing a little bit more regularly. And then Qs broke down. Now, a lot of people were looking for puts, mainly because SPY was trending down. ADD looked like it was pulling down, but Qs wasn't cooperating. So we discussed, when would we be interested in puts? I said, well, first and foremost, I'd love to see the Qs get below 568.66, and I would love to see SPY below 630.634. So the most recent supports on this chart, but we had to get through a bunch of little tiny supports here on the Qs before I would have taken that risk. That didn't happen until 11:03. But then you might be saying, but Jimmy, why did you get in earlier than that? Because I got in here at 11:01, as had a bunch of other members in our group at this point. This was our first trade for a lot of us today. And I said, well, same reason we were looking for an entry for calls over here. We're looking for an entry for puts over here. We have broken a couple of supports. SPY was already in a downtrend. Qs put in a lower high. SPY put in a lower high. Lower highs are bad for calls, number one, so we're definitely not looking for calls. And lower highs tell me that sellers are getting stronger, not weaker. So let's, and honestly, quite a bit of a lack of patience. Patience was wearing thin at this point. This is long past the time I normally trade. In fact, it's very rare that I take any trades after 10 o'clock, but I told everybody I was going to take this trade. Even if you waited for the break of the actual orange line because you don't care about lower highs as much as I do, or most of us do, you still got a great move. The goal was to get down to our pre-market midline. That was my plan. And I set an alert there and I held my trade until we got down there. As we got into profit, you could see the move was much more aggressive on SPY, which was beautiful. I think this one ended up being sorry, I was drawing more stuff again. I want to say this one was, I'm just double checking now. I want to say it was 38%-ish trades. This one was a 39.02% win. We got in because lower highs on both charts. Qs was, SPY was already trending down from its high. We just needed Qs to break a couple supports, but the lower high sealed the deal for most of us. Got into that trade, rode it down to the next support. Now, admittedly, there was a little bit more room left in the trade, but I told everybody in this move on the way down, I said, if we hear the beep, I'm getting out of the trade. I don't care what happens after. It did move down a little bit lower after that. It did leave a couple extra bucks on the table. I'm not sweating it. I'm not too upset about it. With that said, we did make it down to the following support shortly thereafter. And when Qs and SPY hit support at the same time, I always recommend considering taking profits when we get there if you're in puts, just because you're fighting against two charts that are both on support instead of just one. It's always worth doing. And I would also argue that anytime you want to hold on to puts while you're coming down to any support, I would recommend that you tighten up your stop loss, especially if you're already in profit. And there's no harm in putting a stop loss in profit and then having it continue to go in your favor. You can't lose there. And if it does hold, you get stopped out still in profit. It's a much better scenario than not having anything there to protect any of the profits you made and then get yourself into trouble. We don't want to do that. And then we pushed up, pulled back down, basically staying in a downtrend, lower high, but we didn't make it back down to the blue line. So what does that make this? That makes this a higher low. Higher lows, again, good for aggressive reasons to consider getting into calls. At this point, ADD had started to print a green candle again. And what we were hoping for in this move was a move to continue up to right here, this most recent resistance after. Now, it didn't get to that resistance. However, I ended up getting kicked off of the internet. Comcast, love you, Xfinity. My internet died. I got warned at 11:17 this morning, and I told everybody in the group, or 11:14, I said, guys, I just got a text message from Xfinity saying that there's outages in my area. They're working hard to fix them. They should have it up and running by 1:10. I was still up and running at the time, but it was a delayed reaction shortly thereafter that. Got booted off. I want to say it was right around 11:23, 24, right in here, because we were moving to our target, and then I was gone, and I didn't know what ended up happening with it. It did end up pulling back, holding support, and ultimately ran all the way up, well past where we wanted to go. But that's why there's no exit circle here, because I wasn't here to discuss the trade throughout the rest of the day. After that, I was off the mic at 12 o'clock. Well, I get off the mic at 12 o'clock anyway. I was off at 11:23, not by my choice. Market chewed up quite a bit, and then 2 o'clock came. And when 2 o'clock came, we kind of just moved around. Wasn't expecting anything out of SPY. Told everybody leading into FOMC, as always, when the market's not expecting any surprises, don't expect it to move much. It might be a violent, quick move one direction or the other, but it will almost always settle back to where it was leading into the 2 o'clock report. As you could see, we were at right here, right around 569.50 on the Qs at 2 o'clock. And shortly thereafter, we were right back at that price again. It wasn't until Jerome Powell started speaking that we started to get a lot more movement. Had a hell of a drop there, which I wish I would have bought puts, because I was watching contracts at 2:34 here. I'm sorry. Yeah. No. What time was it? I was watching them, and I remember saying to myself, man, you could buy these contracts for $1,170. Those things got to be worth almost $4,000 a piece more than that cost by the time they got down here. But anyway, I don't trade this late in the day, and I don't trade without my people. So that's it. That's all I got for today. Hopefully tomorrow, with all the reports that we got coming out, we get a little bit better of a morning. I hope you guys crushed it today. It was not a pleasant day, but once again, for me, being patient 2 days in a row is a home run for me. Ended up getting a 39.02% win out of it, which was fantastic. Felt good. And that was it. So if you got any useful information in this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to join my Discord community, well, I'd love to have you. There are links down below. And if you'd like to buy my book to not only support me with a whopping $3 that I make when you do, it's more so that you can understand in a lot more detail what it is that goes on in our community, what it is that is my strategy, how we use it to hopefully make money, and how to become better traders. All right, so check it out. Looks just like this. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Till the next one, I love you. See you.